some other stuff about random bullshit that doesn't matter. So, first thing, new Sinner, target extraction Rodion. Extraction rates, 3-star Kurakumo, Henchwoman Rodion, and LCCB, Assistant Manager Rodion, and Middle Hammer Rodion. And then one is the LCB Sinner one. So just a Rodion banner, fair enough. New content, experience... Bro, do they... Why does it have to be so small? There we go. Experience Luxcavation and Thread Luxcavation, meaning you can grind those materials, experience like the tickets to level up your characters, as well as the uptying thread material. So each stage of the experience Luxcavation is unlocked after clearing a certain stage in the main story. The first stage is unlocked after clearing 212. Enemies in the experience Luxcavation have specific resistances. You can check the type and affinity that will be most effective before you enter the stage. Rewards from the winning battle include experience from combat and identity training tickets. Stages cost enkephalon to enter, and you can earn bonus rewards up to 3 times per day. Does that mean you'll get a lot of rewards 3 times per day, but then it's infinitely grindable after that? Or is it only 3 times per day? That's the interesting part there. The number of bonuses left is shared between stages. That's cringe. They should probably not have that part. But just because, like, just have both of them grindable 3 times a day or some shit. Instead of whatever. Just kind of dumb to limit it to share between the two. Or unless it means between the difficulty. If it's between the difficulty, that's fine. Oh no, no, wait. This one, okay, this one's just for the experience. Never mind. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. Then both of them have 3, I guess, so that's good. Later stages have high difficulties, recommended level, but their per enkephalon reward gain is also higher. Okay, fair enough. Is it pretty much the same thing for a thread? 3 times per day, number of left stages between stages. Okay, fair enough. Well, fine. It starts at 2.9. Well, actually, thread starts at 2.19, whilst little experience is at 2.12. Bit odd. You'd kind of want them both to be just kind of available at the. I'd say make them both available at the start of chapter 2, not like halfway through chapter 2, because you kind of need it in chapter 2 a bit. Like there's not a massive difficulty spike in chapter 2, but like you start to feel it like very much near the end, where the enemies like are just fundamentally strong. But I guess it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't really matter. But I would recommend just moving it to the start of chapter 2 and like just generally lowering their difficulty and making it a nice curve instead of that. But whatever. Next is Mirror Dungeon reward changes to reduce the TDM and make expeditions more rewarding. The Mirror Dungeon rewards are receiving the following changes. Weekly Mirror Dungeon bonuses changed from 5 to 3 times per week. I don't know why they did that. I think they just removed grind. In accordance with the change, a number of weekly bonus Mirror Dungeons rewards for each expedition with bonuses active will receive 250 lunacy per week. Oh, sorry, per run. So that's to a total of what, 750 per week. 750 per week, which is fine. Change the pass XP to 20 instead of 7, which is essentially you'll be getting what, 6 levels per week, which is, was it the same before? Roughly. If it's 20 per run, 3 runs per week, 60. Before it was 7 times 5, which is 14, 21, 27, 30 something. So I guess you are getting like double the amount of levels. Fair enough. The amount of random shards is changed from 5 and 3 up to 8 and 5, which is fine. Is that an increase? I guess they're kind of substituting it in the sense that you're getting lunacy now, which is the roll material. They're doing that, which is fine. So they don't have to increase the boxes by much. I would have just done it to 10 and fucking 7 or some shit, or 10 and 5. That would have been adjusted like a good amount. But regardless. And then identity XP 1200, it's removed to 0 now because of the experience excavation, so you don't get any more character XP, which is also fine. Changes to the past missions. In accordance with the changes, new daily content and weekly missions are receiving the following changes. So, before, clear 3 stages, so they changed it to log into the game. Defeat 20 enemies, clear 1 XP excavation. Clear thread, suppress 1 abnormality was changed to clear 1 thread excavation. Log into the game, clear any 2 stages, and defeat 10 enemies. It's a bit more generic, which is kind of what you want from your dailies. You don't want your dailies to be hyper-specific things like suppress 1 abnormality, defeat 20 enemies is kind of like a generic one, but it's just a lot of enemies. And have a randomly selected character is just kind of a fucking cringe one. So this is a bit more generic. You'll just do all of these through just doing these two things, right? You'll log into the game in the XP excavations and thread excavations. You'll do these other two challenges, right? So it's kind of like a synchronous thing. And then the weekly changes were 20 stages changed to XP excavation 5, as well as thread excavation 5. 120 enemies was reduced to 100 enemies. 10 stages was reduced from 20 down to 10, obviously. And just do one mirror dungeon. That's fine. The 5 daily logins one was pretty shit because you shouldn't have to log in 5 times a day, just because it's like you miss one day and you're instantly fucked, right? Whilst this is a bit more, you can grind all this out in, obviously apart from the excavations, you can grind the rest of this out all in one day if you so chose. So that's pretty good. This is pretty good right here. I missed this part, sorry. The pass XP from the daily missions, 1 to 2. So the daily missions give you 2 per task, and the weekly ones give you 4 instead of 2. Which is good. That might make the battle pass actually worthwhile. Here's what I mean by that. Now, previously, I did actually look at the price of it. I think it's like 16 Australian dollars to buy the battle pass, if I remember correctly. The reason now I think this is worthwhile is because I look at it in terms of an effort to reward ratio. The Limbus Company battle pass is not highly rewarding for the amount of effort that you put in, because it is, you do have to be doing everything in the game to be getting levels. If you're not doing everything, then you're not getting levels, right? If you're not doing Mirror Dungeon, if you're not doing the story, if you're not doing the stages, if you're not doing your dailies, you're not getting anything. But now it feels, and because there's so many levels, right? There's a lot of levels. So this now makes it so with the changes of what you have to do, with the amount that you are getting rewarded, it probably is going to make it worthwhile. Specifically, obviously, this one here, getting at least 6 levels per week guaranteed as long as you do your weeklies. This is really good, actually. It's a good change. Yeah. So yeah, the everything here is probably the best stuff that they've changed. This one tab, what is this? This is the 3rd picture in their tweet. This is probably the biggest one to take away, to remember, is that just the general gameplay experience, the daily gameplay experience, and the weekly gameplay experience is being changed pretty heavily, mainly for the Luxcavations is being the best addition. So that's that. On to the next one. I wonder if there's going to be extra stuff after 60. I think they've already said, right? 2.5 month battle pass is 2.5 months of battle pass, but the time that the battle pass runs is irrelevant to my kind of judgment of that, because you could also say that it's like a 7-year battle pass, but if it's still a nuisance to get up to max level, it's I could care less. So major changes: when when the new download occurs, unused cache data is automatically deleted. Congratulations. Fixed an issue where running a client from an unsupported version displayed a message saying the no guest account was found, even if the account existed. Some other stuff. Combat damage boost per clash adjusted to 3%. Fair enough. Okay, that's pretty good. Staggered allies no longer gain an action slot before others. Thank you. A number of adjustments originally planned for March 16th. Defense skill changes, resonance-based boost. Stagger threshold changes have been postponed to the update scheduled for March 23rd. Bit unfortunate. That right there. It's kind of stuff that you want a bit earlier than later, but whatever. Due to the multitude of factors to consider while changing the mechanics, we apologize for the extended wait. Or whatever. UI changes added a seasonal display to identity and ego info. Jesus Christ. We are aware of the current issues where the seasonal display does not function properly on the artwork configuration menu for the lobby and profile and the extraction result screen. This will be addressed in the future update. We plan to update and organize and redeliver details about the seasons in the future article. Kind of like an irrelevant one, but fair enough. It's just a UI fix. I'm always there for UI fixes, but I've got no massive problem with this one as I've not encountered it, I guess. Is that it? Wait, is that it? It says 1 of 7. What? 4? Is okay, 5 down here. Whoops. Japanese version, fix certain descriptions. There's a Japanese version. Oh, descriptions. Okay, descriptions. Okay. Just some more description stuff fixing. 218 enemy boss stuff. The following compensation will be provided. Extraction ticket 3. All recipients who've created an account before a certain date. 7-day valid login claim. Fair enough. Bug fixes and improvements. Fix an issue that displayed the amount of enkephalin recovered when using enkephalin boxes. Okay, great. On PC version, status effects keywords now display upon hovering the mouse over them. Great one. That's great. You don't have to manually click on it because clicking can just sometimes be a fucking nuisance. But that's obviously only a PC version thing, so only if you're PC. Some people are mobile, so that doesn't apply to you. The refresh button in the mailbox can now be pressed once every 10 seconds. I don't know why people are pressing it more than that, but fair enough. The face of the company, i.e. the selected IDs, Osina's idle voice line at the window now only plays up to 3 times at a time. Fair enough. Didn't really bother me. Fixed an issue where the effects for spine artwork did not show in certain parts of the UI. Sorry, spine artwork. Spine artwork? Fair enough. Don't know what that exactly means, spine artwork, but a fix is a fix. When the server enters maintenance during gameplay, the game now displays a shutdown pop-up in addition to the maintenance notice. What was it? Were people playing previously when the maintenance went up and, like, the game just closed? That's terrible, dude. That's terrible. I've never played the game as maintenance has happened, but what, did the game just close itself? It's like, yep, we're done. Game's over. Not in our hands anymore. I guess that's good, but that should have been a thing from the get-go if they were going to have maintenances consistently, which they are. Resistances are now shown in the character info tab. Okay, they added an extra section. I'll have to see that in person. Fix an issue where the info on certain abnormalities, skills, passives, and part resistances were not being unlocked in the encyclopedia. Good job. I think that's good. I haven't even fucking found the encyclopedia personally. I don't even know if that's a specific entry or a specific area, but I haven't found it. But I also believe that they need better consistency across, like, abnormality part weaknesses that just should kind of be, like, the same. Because if you... I'm not sure if it's just my experience, but it's just, like, you're attacking an abnormality that has 3 parts that kind of name the same thing, but they, like, and one has shown its weaknesses, but the other parts haven't shown its weaknesses, but it's like, they have the same weaknesses and resistances, because they're the same fucking part. So it's just like a bit more of a consistency on that part would be a fix that I would probably look for as well. Fix the icon display for uncleared abnormality encounters in story dungeons. Thank you. That's a very good one. Valid routes from the current position now displayed in story dungeons. Thanks, I guess. Fix an issue where certain abnormality encounters in the mirror dungeons played a tutorial. That happened? Damn, that's honestly unfortunate for the people who experienced that. Fix an issue where certain abnormality encounters in the mirror dungeon played effects from the main story. Thank the fuck. That's really good, actually, because I experienced that one when I was fighting the when I was fighting the one with the apple, essentially the golden apple, and you have the effects with Yuri, right? You had the effect where she, like, pops out of the apple and her head, like, appears and it's very sad and whatnot. I was doing the mirror dungeon. It's like, bro, come on, I don't need this kind of depressing shit. Fix an issue where the descriptions of ego gifts couldn't be selected. That's very... Oh, that's the thing that we encountered yesterday, right? Where I wanted to see the descriptions on the actual ego gift, but then it didn't appear. Okay, thank God, they fixed that. Great. Fix an issue where keyword tooltips did not work when acquiring an ego gift. So essentially, fix an issue where ego gifts didn't work. Fix an issue where the tooltips for ego gifts could not be viewed while exploring the dungeons. Okay, that's good. Fix an issue where the activation conditions for certain ego gifts. Okay, just fix the ego gifts. Fix an issue where the map occasionally did not generate when entering a dungeon. That's very unfortunate. Causing the game to be unable to progress. That's very unfortunate. Condolences to people who experienced that. Fix an issue where the status effects of Paralyze did not work properly, so they fixed Paralyze. Fix an issue where area of effect skills did not show target arrows for sub-targets when selecting skills. Very good. Coin power in battle is now displayed as the value with modifiers from status effects, passives, and other sources applied. Oh, great. So now you actually have information instead of you're calculating yourself. The game actually does its job. Okay, great. The coin power is now in battle is now displayed as the value with the modifiers from statuses, passives, and other things. Yeah, good job. Great. Again, I don't want to be that guy who says it, but it should have been there from the start. In my opinion, it should have been there from the start. But that's a great addition. Great. Fix an issue where coin power would go below 0 during a battle. That's a very odd one, but yes, thank you. Odd that it could happen, but yep, good. Character dialogue no longer displays in certain abnormality checked during battle. Thank you. Certain abnormality passive abilities no longer activate after the related part has been broken. That happened? Damn, that's really bad. But good, at least good that it's been fixed. Fixed an issue where the game would stop and or become unable to progress when using the auto mode during unique story segments mid-battle. Very unfortunate that that could happen. And fixed an issue where removed parts were being targeted during abnormality fights. I think that also happened to me yesterday as well. I think yesterday the part that I had broke was continuously targeted by my units, even though they should have just either cancelled or continued on to the other parts, just automatically. I think I also experienced that one. Good that that was been fixed. A bunch of good fixes. A lot of them also kind of like just small tweaks, but also some of them very good fixes. Very good so far. And then one final one is the login gift, the maintenance, the maintenance compensation, 300 lunacy. That's fine. 300 is fine. It's like what? How much is a full tenor? It's like 1200, 300, 1300. So it's fine. And then notes, update your game client, a bunch of other stuff, maintenance, link your accounts and whatnot. So okay, overall pretty good. This is the first major. I don't want to call it a major because major is a bit of a weird word to use in this context, but this is the first major patch for Limbus Company. And it's pretty good. They're fixing a lot of the stuff that the game has problems with, and will still probably continue to have problems, obviously, down the road. I'm not going to try to act like the game is not going to have problems.